Hey guys, this is Zero here with another vlog movie review on, well, if you've seen the title of this video, I'm going to be talking about Jurassic World. Yeah, this past weekend I just went to go see it, and, before I get into my thoughts, I will let you know this review will not be spoiler-free. I'm going to keep it as spoiler-free as I can. I'm not going to reveal, like, huge things, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a page from my buddy, SCXCR's book, and I'm going to put time codes at the bottom of the screen or somewhere on the screen to where, with an annotation to where you can click and skip. Now, if you're on a mobile device, this might not work. So, again, you can go to the time, you can pause the video, go to the time code on your mobile device to where I stop talking about spoilers, and go from there. So, I'm going to try to keep this as spoiler-free as I can, but it's Jurassic Park, and I want to gush a little bit. So Jurassic World. To make a long story short, I love the movie. I thought it was a new take on an old idea. At this point, an old entire idea. Let's just recap. The first Jurassic Park is a classic, and I watched it when I was a kid, and I watched it growing up, and I love it. I still love it today. It still holds up today. The second movie jumped the shark because they didn't have anything else they could do. They did the whole, they did the whole 2 T-Rexes. Now there's not one, there's 2 this time, and it's a different island, and Jeff Goldblum's back, and now they're in San Francisco. So, it already jumped the shark. The third one is my favorite, and I know I'm going to get a lot of crap for that, but the third one is, I like the third one a lot because it brings, some of the main characters from the first ones back. It adds my favorite dinosaur, the Spinosaurus, into the mix, like something that could actually beat a T-Rex, because the T-Rex had kind of been the star for the last few movies in terms of dinosaurs, and it was kind of an unstoppable killing machine as far as the movie was concerned. So, they found something that would actually defeat a T-Rex. So, according to science at the time, I think now science, dinosaur science says that the T-Rex and the Spinosaurus are actually pretty close in size, but I think the Spinosaurus is still the better dinosaur in terms of like power and whatnot. Anyways, it's my favorite dinosaur. I thought they did a great job bringing it to the screen. They had a Joe Johnston directed that one instead of Steven Spielberg, and he's a special effects genius, so setting up special effects shots was easy. And overall, I just think it's a very good movie, and I think people need to give it another look with a less critical eye. Which leads me to Jurassic World, and the first thing I want to talk about is this movie is getting a lot of mixed reactions from people. Like, I'm looking at Rotten Tomatoes right now. It has about a 70% on the tomato meter, whatever that means, and 86% of the people liked it, which is pretty good. People are giving it like a B, I guess, in terms of like grading. But these days, if you don't have an 8 or higher in pretty much any rating system, people consider it crap. In fact, the guy who sat behind me, literally, I heard him say as he got up, "Well, that was terrible." And my first thought was, were we watching the same movie? Were your eyes working? Which is kind of an asshole-ish thing to think, but it's really how I felt. Now, I went to see this with my buddy Corey, and he was gonna, I asked him if he wanted to do this vlog review with me, and he declined, so, because we had other things we were doing that day. But, I loved the movie. I thought it was awesome, where he thought it was just kind of okay. He just kind of was meh. He just kind of feel like it was unnecessary. And I'll go into some of my thoughts and why I think the movie is awesome. So, first off, it's a park now. We have the dinosaur park, and comparatively, yeah, in the first movie we had the dinosaur park, so they're back on Isla Nublar, and it is back on Isla Nublar. But the first Jurassic Park, they were testing to see if the park could become a thing. Here, the park's a thing, and it's literally you fly to it, and they have upwards of 20,000 plus people on there at a time. Basically, like the fraction of a size of a small city is able to go on this island and go to this amusement park. It's one of the biggest sounding amusement parks in the world, is what it sounds like. Probably rivaled by Disney World, if this place actually existed. But I like this because this is showing the park working. This is them showing like what they've done. The genetic stuff is still there and how they make the dinosaurs. Most of the dinosaurs are female, like as usual. I believe all of them are. And this shows some new things in certain lights. Now we have our main characters. We have I forget the girl's name. I forget what's her name, but she's the head of the park. Her nephews are coming to the park to check it out. So this is one thing that I agree with Corey on. The kids were kind of not really, were kind of one thing, I guess, to hold the movie down a little bit, but they needed to be there because we needed characters we cared or didn't care about being attacked by dinosaurs. And that's their purpose. Their purpose is to basically be, look, it's a dinosaur, run. So that's why they needed to be there. It was a necessary evil for this type of movie. We also have the character of Owen, who is, quote, on all intents and purposes, a dinosaur trainer or expert trainer or whatever. And he trains a team of raptors. He has 4 raptors that basically they respect him and treat him as basically a father figure. And as the alpha of the group. So he's got Beta, I think, or not Beta. One of them's called Charlie. One of them's called Blue, who is my favorite of the Raptors. Blue is my favorite. Delta. I think one's Delta, and the other one, I forget what the 4th one's name. I think it's Beta. I can't remember. And there's a joke in the movie, be like, which one's the alpha? And he's like, that's me. Owen's probably my favorite character of the movie because he actually cares about the dinosaurs. And, I mean, you can tell he cares about these raptors that he's trained because he doesn't just see them as a weapon, which one of the villains of the movie sees them as. He sees them as a creature. He sees them as a being. He considers them friends. And I think the raptors consider him friends, too, which is something that comes up midway through the movie. There's 2 big new dinosaurs. There's I don't know the name of this dinosaur, but the giant water thing. You've seen it in the trailer. It shows up quite a bit in the movie. Not as much as some of the other dinosaurs, but it shows up quite a bit. And the other big new dinosaur, which is the Insidious Rex, I think that's what it is, which we call the I-Rex, new from Apple. So the I-Rex is essentially a genetically mutated dinosaur. And again, I'm going to have some spoilers here because they don't reveal this in the movie, but you can figure it out pretty quick. They spliced other animals and dinosaurs together. They basically mix a T-Rex and a raptor with other animals that have like camouflaging abilities and other stuff like such as that. And this thing is pretty badass. I mean, it's not nearly as badass as the Spinosaurus was, but this thing is smart. It's fast. It's basically, think of all the deadly things of a raptor and a T-Rex put together, and you get the I-Rex. This thing is nuts. It's strong, it's fast, it's powerful, and the main thing about it is because of the way he was grown, he's not hunting to get food. He's hunting to kill for sport. There's a scene partway through the movie. By the way, this scene makes you. This movie makes you feel. Where there's a field of brontosauruses or brachiosauruses, I don't know whichever, which are dying because they came in contact with the I-Rex. And Owen steps up and he's like, he didn't even eat them. He's killing for sport. So essentially, this thing needs to be taken down. This I-Rex. The only reason this thing exists is because they need to maintain the park and make sure their investors are happy and whatnot. But yeah, so throughout the whole movie, there is a scene, and this gets me back to the Raptors. The Raptors are good guys in this movie. Well, yeah, they're good guys. They take part in a mission to try to take down the I-Rex. However, because the I-Rex is part raptor, he can communicate with the raptors, and the raptors get confused. Now, some people might be saying they blame the raptors for basically turning on Owen, but the raptors are confused. Here's one of their own kind, or what they think is one of their own kind, and they don't know what they should do. So the raptors unfortunately turn on them to try to take down the I-Rex. The climax of the movie, which I'm not going to spoil, is fucking fantastic. if you're a fan of the climax of the first movie, this is even, I don't want to say even better, but it's pretty freaking awesome. They did a really good job with this. And one thing I want to say that some people might see as a negative is they saved the T-Rex for near the end of the movie. And the reason I like this change is because if you think of the other movies, the T-Rex, well, they saved the T-Rex till the middle of the movie, pretty much, in the first one. The second one, they jumped the shark by adding 2 of them and then doing San Francisco. The third one, they had to show how badass the Spinosaurus was, so it was gone in like 10, 15 minutes. I think the T-Rex literally showed up for 5 minutes and then it was gone. So people who were fans of the T-Rex were disappointed with that. And in this one, they waited till the end, to the final battle, to bring the T-Rex into it. And I'm kind of glad they did because, one, the T-Rex has had his time in the spotlight, or her time in the spotlight in these movies. And we need to give time to the I-Rex and the Raptors and all this other stuff. And honestly, I think they did a good job by leaving him to the end. Like, it made it even more awesome when they came in. Oh, the T-Rex is coming! He's gonna kick the I-Rex's ass! So yeah, it's I thought it was awesome. The ending fight scene is fantastic, and that's one thing I will not spoil. If you've watched the movie, you're probably this far, and I think the whole time code thing's not going to work, so I'm just going to drop it, because I want to talk about this movie. I want to spoil things, because I want to talk about it. And, so anyways, the way they beat the I-Rex is fucking awesome, I gotta say. So, the story of the movie is not super, like, you know, it's not super intuitive or anything, but this is getting me back to what people who are critics of the movie have been talking about. It's a popcorn movie. And to the people who are critics of the movie, let me ask you, what did you honestly expect going into a Jurassic World movie? Were you expecting dinosaurs? Then you got what you were expecting. Like, that's why I love the movie. I wasn't expecting a deep story. I wasn't expecting deep characters. I wasn't expecting to be wowed by the CG, though the 3D did help. A lot better than Jurassic Park 3D, like when they re-released the original and put it in 3. Anyways, I thought they did a really good job with this movie. Is it my favorite in the Jurassic Park series? That's probably going to stay with 3. I need to let this movie settle before how I feel about it. Maybe watch it again on DVD or Netflix or something. I thought they did a really good job with this movie. In a world where sequels to older franchises tend to be pretty meh, this one is one of the better ones. And if you've been turned off because it's a new Jurassic Park movie, it's a 90s series that we're reviving, they don't leave it too open for a sequel. There is potential for a sequel, unfortunately, but I still think this movie's really good, and I think people need to give it a chance. And, like, if you're going into this expecting an epic story, an epic plot, and all this stuff, you're not going to get it here. This is, for all intents and purposes, like the original Jurassic Park movies, might I remind everyone who's watching this, it's, in all intents and purposes, a popcorn movie where you go to see dinosaurs. You have to go into the mentality in this like you were 10 again. Or, let's see, the original came out in 95. That's when the original Power Rangers started. I'm wearing my Dragon Zord shirt. You have to go into this movie with the perspective of a kid when you saw the original movie. I saw it on cable when it came out. I think I saw it in the theaters. Pretty sure I saw it in the theaters. I can't remember. I was so young back then. I think it was like 6 or 7. I can't remember how I originally saw the movies, but I saw them. When I saw it, I thought it was awesome because it was dinosaurs. I didn't care about the plot or any of that stuff. The plot does make sense, but it's not going to be something epic that's going to change the way you think about these kind of movies. And that's my thing about action movies. They don't need to have good plots to be entertaining and to be fun movies. And I'm not saying this has a terrible plot. I don't think it's ultimately terrible. I just think it doesn't matter as much. So honestly, I recommend seeing it if you haven't. It's great to see in 3D, and I'm glad I saw it. Leave your comments down below of what you thought of the movie, because I'd like to hear what you guys think, because it seems to be very mixed right now, but mostly positive. People are mostly saying it's good. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching my review, and I hope you enjoy watching some dinosaurs. Dinosaurs.